Yeah, I don't know. I think I mean that one scene in the Seven Samurai where he has everybody, he has everybody packed into one focal. What do you? I mean, you're more of a camera guy than I am. What it's called, focal viewpoint, or what the fuck is that? Where you have the angle going up.
Yeah, well, it's close enough. I mean, but yeah, I mean, well, those are always tricks, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's got to overcome that shit. So everybody had to work with those kind of ideas, especially with film cameras, because the margin was really, really narrow. You know what I mean? So your focal length was really important because anything outside of your 3-foot range, would either be too close or too far away and be out of focus. Because they used really big lenses with big wide apertures, and so like I said, they had a really tight focal length.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I think one of the things that Kurosawa did to impress me was, the way he managed to pack everybody into a single scene, so that with one camera lens you get the whole shot. And you saw that in Seven Samurai. You saw that in Yojimbo too, which I think was a earlier movie. I don't know if you ever seen Yojimbo or not.
Well, I imagine even this is horrible, so thankfully no. But anyway, yeah, whatever. Like I said, I didn't think it was filmed all that well. Actually, I thought it was just kind of routine.
Yeah, well,
I mean, yeah,
you should check out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Somebody was going over me.
For its time, it was it was okay movie, but I'm just saying it was okay. It wasn't. I don't think it was all that brilliant.
Yeah, check it out sometime. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, the staging, the characterizations. That one guy, the main actor, he later played a part in some. It was some 3-part bit about Musashi. Anyway, I'm probably going way back or way into what you want to hear about. But yeah, I like Kurosawa. I like his movies. I think they're very profound, insightful.
Incredibly, I think it's just incredibly overrated mush. I mean, the later one he was this stupid one where these two guys are, I don't even know what the hell they were doing. Well, anyway, they just ended up being accidents of the circumstances, and it was like watching some kind of bad Abbott and Costello movie. Um, but yeah, whatever. I mean, different folks, different strokes, all that kind of crap. I just didn't, I just didn't see it as all that brilliant. That's all. Compared to what? Dumbo? Come on.
No, not compared to Dumbo. I think I'd rather drink chlorine bleach than watch a Disney movie. So no,
Well,
not compared to
whatever.
that.
I'm just saying. See, well, that's the difference between us. I think Dumbo was brilliant. Bambi, you go watch Bambi. Yeah, it was fucking brilliant. They drew that whole thing. Fuck.
Well, I think Jungle Book was brilliant. I mean, it was made in 1968. Disney was, I mean, down in the pits. Was about to go bankrupt as a studio, and that one movie bailed them out. And
well, I know, but that was a horrible Disney movie, though. That's just one of these silly musicals. It was just blah. I mean, 68. Dumbo was made in 39.
all right, I mean, if we're talking chronicity and how long a movie has to been around to be of worth. Okay, Fantasia's been around since the early 1940s. That was a good Disney movie. I'll grant that.
I'm just saying.
And throw in your Dumbo.
Right. Well, I'm just saying they were really well done, well constructed, pieces of stuff. That's all I'm saying. you know, I mean, when you look at The Wizard of Oz, I mean, 1939, it's, you know, that was a great year, 1939, with a lot of great movies.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about The Wizard of Oz because the studio that produced that didn't was actually trying to shut it down, and you know, there's like, okay, let me get this straight. We're talking about a pre-teenage girl in Plain State, Kansas, and a tornado comes around and whisks her off, and then she goes on a bunch of dream adventures, and then it puts her back, and you want us to finance this. Yeah, right. So I mean,
No, come on, that's not true. I mean, look, you know, they paid a lot of money for this, for the screen rights to The Wizard of Oz. It wasn't a cheap story. All right, they didn't pull it out of their asses. It was a book, and they paid big money for it. And the problem was is they didn't have a big name actress for it. They wanted Shirley Temple, but the studio that had Shirley Temple under contract wouldn't lease her. And so that's what they were really fucked over, is that they didn't have anybody to be Judy, and so they had to go with the nobody, and that was the scary part.
Dorothy.
well, it sounds like
Yeah, I
you've
mean,
got.
I think it would have been a disaster. I mean, I can't really imagine it with Shirley Temple, but you know, Shirley Temple was really talented, so she could pull anything off. But I just mean it would have been just such a different movie with her in it. Zomgits looks a little bit headachy. Somebody get out of the way. She'll throw things.
I just woke up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock over there. I just woke up.
7:30, asshole.
Okay. I love you too. Such.
I heard something that ended in asshole.
Yeah, we're just doing our little thing. Chit-chatting and such. She just woke up. She just answered that question. She just woke up. She obviously doesn't do mornings.
I fucking hate the mornings more than any other man on earth.
Yeah, I'm getting to hate these evenings. To tell you the truth, I'm hating the evenings lately. Because like after I eat my dinner, I'm like, I want to go to bed now. Yeah, for like a week. I get so tired. So I'm probably dying of something.
Yeah, you're dying of life.
It is killing me. It is true. Slow but sure.
Aren't we all?
And I have a mosquito bite on my bum. It's really irritating me.
Yeah, Gare, about that pool. Looks clear most of the time, but there was one video, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks ago. Man, that thing looked like a clouded, I don't know, frog pond.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You know, you know, obviously it's my responsibility. But pools are a little tricky. I mean, all of a sudden they'll just go on you like that. And you're like, holy shit! You know, and you panic and you say, I gotta do something about that. You know, there's all these different kinds of algae that'll grow really quick. So, you know, you have to either, you know, zap it with chlorine or something else. But yeah, it's a little complicated because the pH has to be right, and this has to be right, and all this shit has to be right. But I've been doing pretty good this year. Most of the time it's pretty clear.
Most of the time. That was the only, yeah, it just kind of stood out in my memory. That was the only time I remember the pool being really cloudy. It's like a
Yeah, it snuck up on me. You know. Usually it goes green, you know. Usually it gets a little green tinge before it goes cloudy, and so it just didn't go green on me. So it ended up just being cloudy without going green. So I just didn't catch it in time.
Yeah, not a criticism, just a observation.
I think it's the same difference, but we'll let you get away with it. Well, I guess you can't. You have to be docked for your microphone to work. So that's your first mistake. Okay, if you want your microphone to work, you have to dock up. You have to be in one of the little windows. You press the button. It says something like dock here or something, or whatever the fuck it says. Yeah, well, you say start video, and it's the same thing as saying start mic, because if your video doesn't work, then that'll be it. You know, it's right under the Stickam thing. I mean, you kind of like, it says Stickam, and then there's a box under there, and it says start here or whatever. Bingo. But whatever. What do you want to say anyway? You're going to say something important? I just wanted to interrupt and chew on some potato chips.
Hey, Gary, I got a question for you if you're up for it.
I like questions sometimes, mostly.
Okay, so here's the question. You know, I've been listening to you, I don't know, like a couple of years now. Haven't always interacted, but that's not why I'm asking the question. I mean, you've got like superior debating skills. You know, I mean, you're really like a combative street fighter. Where the hell did you learn this? I mean, was it in your adolescence or earlier years, or was it, you know, on YouTube? Where'd you get this? I mean, pretty good, pretty successful. I mean, pretty effective form of debating retorts. Where'd you pick that up? Just School of Life, or?
No, that's well, the one. That's the one. School of Life. Yeah, everybody always hated me, so I was always arguing with people because how dare they hate me. No, yeah, I was always, you know, the naysaying whatever kind of person. I mean, you know, my family just, you know, they used to just sit there every now and then in the car. We spent a lot of time in the car, so it's not much you could do but talk. And they'd all of a sudden start going, complain, complain, complain. You know, because I was just on one of my tirades complaining about everything. So I was always defending my complaint theories. You know, why this is bad, and why that's wrong, and why somebody ought to fix this, and somebody ought to do something about that. I was like some old cranky guy. I mean, I was really like some old man who just sits there and gripes about everything in the world. Look at that garbage on the sidewalk. They ought to just kill all the people in this country. Look at that slop. I mean, I was just, you know, I'm really just... So anyway, that's basically the nature of it. And then school was the same thing. I was like this terrible loser. So I was, you know, well, I had, you know, yeah, so I was just argued with everybody. I hated everybody, so I just argued with them all.
Okay, yeah, I realized it was like an open-ended question. I was trying to get a little more out of it than that. I mean, like with Professor Anton and you know, your debates with him regarding antinatalism. I mean, I think it's safe to say, and if you base it on plus votes versus the minus votes on that particular video, I think it was Gary versus Anham 2 or Anton 2. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 200 to 5, you know, plus votes. So, to cut to the chase, you've got this superior, I mean, admittedly, I think everybody who's here tonight admits it, you've got this superior debating skill, and you can bring it to bear upon bullshit, which is cool. But where did you get that? And, you know, I'm hearkening back to the last question. I don't think your elucidation of your adolescence properly explains it. Where did you get that?
I think it does address it. Okay, I was always challenging authorities, so I was always arguing from a very minority position, and so you have to be solid when you're doing that. You can't argue from the minority position and not have an argument. You know, then you're really dead. So yeah, I knew what it was to have a good argument. And so, but I don't know what you're saying. I mean, what do you want me to say? I don't have it. I mean, I don't know how the fuck I got here. I happened. I didn't make me. The world made me. I mean, you know, it's like asking Frankenstein, how did you get those little knobs on your neck? You know, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I grew them, fucker.
Yeah, you kind of jumped ahead of me a little bit. That was actually the part two of this conversation that I was going to ask you. But it was more about your, you know, the pointedness, or you know, the velocity of your attacks against people like Professor Anton. It just seems like when they're making their arguments, you've already got spinning around in your head a counter argument that you're ready to let loose. So where did that occur? Was it on YouTube? Was it in your own, you know, was it in your adolescent teen years? Where'd you get that sense of confidence in your own philosophy and your own opinion?
Well, again, like I said, I've been arguing my whole life, okay? So I've been philosophizing, I've been doing philosophy thing, the amateur philosophy thing my whole life. So, I mean, I've been arguing these kind of subjects my entire life. So, you know, and then YouTube, it did take me a while to get comfortable on YouTube. I mean, I was afraid to, you know, I was afraid to let it out because, you know, yeah, it's a little spooky. Because I never really had an audience. I'd always argued in small groups of people, and you know, arguing, you know, in this kind of environment, you just don't know what you're going to get, what you're exposing yourself to. So it took a little while to get comfortable doing YouTube.
Well, you know, an interesting.
Well, I was just going to add that, you know, the people here, you know, these people, some of these people are highly educated, so, you know, it's a little intimidating, I guess, as part of it, too. You know, some of these people have been way outdone in terms of education, and, you know, so it's a little bit like, you know, what am I getting into, because they're going to fucking, you know, they're going to just wipe me out, you know, on education alone. But, you know, I figured out how to play that, you know, so that they didn't you know, because I was a little fucked in the beginning, because I had to learn all this new jargon, this jargon of the philosopher, and, you know, I just didn't have the jargon.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. I had to. I'm a, you know, my degrees are in science, in mathematics and engineering. But yeah, you know, I had to take, as part of my humanities mandatory curriculum in college, I had to take philosophy, and I totally agree. A lot of the jargon that I was exposed to, I had no idea what it meant, and it took as many nights in the concordance and thesaurus and dictionary as it did in the textbooks to even figure out what that shit meant.
Yeah, I mean, they can get you off balance pretty easy with that stuff, so that's, like I said, that was a little bit intimidating. So, sorry to interrupt you, we were going to say something else, but, you know, whatever.
No, actually, I was going to change the subject, if it's okay with you. I was going to ask Zom Gets Chris. I'm sorry, you may have already talked about this, you know, in previous Stickams, but I wanted to ask you about the American Atheist Convention and your experience there.
Did a Thunderfoot bite your leg? Yeah, Thunderfoot really did make an ass of himself. Women like it when I chew on their leg. What's everybody complaining about? Huh? Huh? I'm a serious scientist and such. Huh?
Did you read my post on that? On Free Thought Blog?
I'm not going to go there and read all that babbly crap. No, of course I didn't. I watch videos. I have to go do that, though. I was wondering. I was wondering what side of the fence you'd fall on. They already had it? I thought it was in July. Oh, that was a different thing. Oh, that's the Mamba thing or whatever it is, Mambla or something. Yeah, sure.
Right now
Mambla weekend.
I'm preparing to leave. I mean, first I go to Minneapolis for the Skeptic conference, but then there's gonna be TAM. I'm leaving on the 4th.
Yeah, your whatever it is. I have to come up with a word for them. The Wimpy Atheist Convention.
So, Gare and Chris, I'm just wondering why can't you, Gary, be invited to, you know, if not the main atheist convention, you know, the World Atheist Convention, one of these sub conventions in like Minneapolis? Why can't you go there?
Just because I'm just not politically correct enough. That's why. It really is a political movement. You know, their movement has nothing to do with the truth. The average atheist, all he is it's heathens. That's all they are. They're just fucking heathens. All they are is anti-God. They're not pro-truth. But they don't invite the amazing atheist either, so I don't feel too. I don't know. Maybe they do, and he just says, "What's in it for me?" You know, they don't give him enough money, or, you know, offer him enough hamburgers. But yeah, I don't get any invitations. Yeah, no one. You know, I wouldn't go anyway, but I don't even get invited. Damn it.
So, what do you think about that, Chris?
What? Why isn't Gary invited? He already answered. There are a lot of people who are great people and they're not invited. You cannot invite everybody on the internet. It's mostly these conferences, mostly bloggers are invited. It's only a new thing that people who make videos are invited.
Well, Gare, you're just not in the select club, damn it. You gotta suck some more ass, buddy.
Well, whatever, you know. It's also a popularity contest. A lot of things, so whatever.
Just out of curiosity, whose ass did I suck? Because this is what you're implying.
Who's implying that?
No. Well, I think she was saying I was implying that.
You said that you gotta suck more ass to be invited to these conferences, and I am invited to this implicitly.
Yeah, I know. Well, look, we know why. You know, it's a show in the end. So I mean, you know, that's in the end what it is, and it's who's going to generate interest, who's going to put a good face on, you know, blah blah blah. So that's what it comes down to. But it's not. They're not like serious conferences where let's really talk about physics or let's really talk about a subject. In my opinion, it's a political movement, not a it's not a philosophy movement.
Well, I can only imagine, Gary. Okay, here's like keynote address by Richard Dawkins. Well, I guess he did that last year. Whoever. Ghost of Christopher Hitchens does the keynote address for the next atheist convention. And you go into your various breakout rooms, and there's Gary talking about antinatalism. I wonder how popular that would be.
Well, and I don't think it will ever happen with just anybody, though. That's the problem with this, is the celebrities, they're not going to put, they don't create the environment for controversy. So that's the real joke, is they're always labeled like free thought or some other kind of idea, and it's really not about free thought, because if they're challenging one of their celebrity speakers, they're probably not going to be on the invite list. You know, so it is kind of a very manufactured message that comes out of all this stuff. I mean, I'm just not a big fan of conferences anyway. I think the whole thing is a big farce. It's just it's nothing. I mean, why these people don't make real conversational videos on YouTube. They don't put their shit up to ridicule. They don't answer. They don't respond to anything ever. You can't have a conversation with any of these elitists. So what's the So to me, it's just it's fine. Go ahead and do it. It's better than nothing. It's making some noise in the right direction, but it's not fucking. This is not the solution. This isn't the road to atheist empowerment, so to speak. You got to do better than this.
Oh, you can have long conversations with them, Gary. You can have hour-long, multi-hour-long conversations as long as you agree with what they agree with. No problem. We can talk for hours.
Yeah, and if they don't like it, then they'll just all of a sudden you're not on the show anymore, kind of thing, or whatever. We gotta go now. Yeah, there's lots of other callers. Oh, that's right. There aren't any other callers. But we have to get to the other callers who don't exist.
Yeah, the old.
Gary,
That's
I got partnered, but not with YouTube. There are these guys, RPM Network, who I guess are in collaboration with YouTube or something. So basically, they get the leftovers. So who cannot make it for partnership, they go there. But I mean, you can be a partner only if you give up. If you have one, only if you give up your YouTube partnership. Ashley gave up her YouTube partnership to be partnered with these guys because apparently they pay better. And I like on my last video now there are ads because I did something. I don't freaking know. I'm so confused about this, and they suck at responding. They're just as bad as YouTube. And now I mean the only improvement that I saw is that I can put a banner up now and I can change my thumbnails. But I don't even know how I'm supposed to collect the money or what to do. They just don't tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if they're giving you a higher percentage, it means their ads are going to be more obnoxious. That's the only way they can possibly do it. They've got to be pumping more ads than Google would have. So they got to be doing more ads. Because, I mean, why would Google? Obviously, Google's letting everybody partner now. So, I mean, it's like they're doing commercials on... I saw an ad on eBay for YouTube partnership. So, I mean, you didn't even have to be a video producer, and YouTube was willing to make you a partner, even without making videos.
I don't know, because these guys are also working with Google ads. I mean, the ads that appear on my video are Google, and they're just the same as their own partners. I mean, there's the ad in the side, and then there's a little transparent overlay, and that's it. Just
well, I know. I'm just saying that there may catch. There has to be a catch, and obviously the catch. For them to be able to resell Google's product, they've got to be doing something that Google's not willing to do, right? I mean, that's all it comes down to. They got to do more of it. So maybe they're buying Google ads. They buy Google ads and they display them all over the internet, and so this is part of their deal, is to do some of it on YouTube probably. But that's the downside is that they're probably going to be more aggressive in the ads than YouTube would be.
They're not. Like, I paid attention to, Ashley, her ads and stuff. They're the same. They're basically the same. I'm really confused about all this because they only accepted me yesterday. No, 2 days ago. I applied 3 days ago and they accepted me like within 12 hours. And yeah, I don't know. They accept everybody from whichever country. They don't have any restrictions. It's a bit weird.
Well, I'm just saying, the only reason why they do it, though, is they got to be doing it because they're still buying the access from Google. So if Google's selling it to them, they must be doing it for a reason. And that means they're getting paid enough to justify it. I mean, they don't want the headache of the billing, and they don't want the headache of different things, maybe, but I'm just saying, you still got to be paying for that somehow. And there's not enough of a margin.
I think, I mean, this is the only thing I can think of, that, in order for YouTube to partner you, they have to basically have a contract with your country or something, I don't know, to, like you have to provide proof of being a taxpayer and all this bureaucratic bullshit, and they don't have none of that. So I'm guessing YouTube doesn't want to get in trouble, for this. They don't... So they make these guys, they let these guys get partnered with all these people from these remote countries and stuff who don't make it to YouTube. So, you know, in case something bad happens, they are liable, you know, to be sued or something, and Google is not.
Yeah, I know, but then that would require some sort of YouTube collusion. So they're still going to have to figure, YouTube would still have to explain if they weren't doing it to avoid taxes. YouTube would still have to explain why they gave this preferential contract to a company to display Google ads, you know, and they'd have to come up with some other explanation besides, well, because they're evading taxes this way. If that's the only explanation they got, then they're going to have they're still liable, in my opinion. So, I mean, you might be right. Maybe it's just that they're willing, maybe Google created the other company. Who the fuck knows?
I don't really care. I mean, as long as my ads are not horribly obnoxious and they're like decent and they pay me. I just wish they would answer. Like, why won't these sites ever answer? What would this, no communication crap? It's customer service, for fuck's sake.
Well, I've sort of made a promise that I wasn't going to watch any videos that had ads on them, but I've changed it to I'll see who the advertisers are, and then I'll make anti-products for all the ads. So any video I watch that has ads on it, I have to make a video trashing the product. But obviously it'll be on my website, so blah blah blah.
Can anybody hear me now?
Well, pretty much. It's kind of nice. You're like really quiet. It's like you're in a cardboard box. Edible in a box.
I'm on my uncle's laptop this week because I kind of sort of backhanded my laptop across the room.
Well, that sort of probably wasn't a good idea. But it was full of viruses anyway, right? Yeah, so.
It gave me one too many error messages and I snapped.
Yeah, we'll have to get you a new laptop, I guess. Have to have a fundraiser.
I'd like to fix up old electronics and stuff. Would you like that laptop? If nothing else, you can use it for spare parts and shit.
Yeah, well, if I can fix it, I'll fix it and send it back to you, and then you can break it again. But sure, I'll have to exchange it for something. Send you a camera or something.
That works. But a bit of warning, the keys are also fucked up on it, because some stuff fell on it during the earthquake we had here and it broke a bunch of the keys